Hello and welcome. My name is Michael Jerome. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. It means a lot. Back in the car for this one, and I'm pretty excited, to be honest here. We got Ari Lennox in this one. She's released her new album, ASL, Age, Sex, Location. I would consider myself a casual fan of Ari Lennox. I definitely think her voice is incredible, and I definitely enjoyed her last album. I think it was called Shea Butter Baby, but the title track on that one, J. Cole, fire. BMO, fire. And then I think it was Whipped Cream, that one. But yeah, it's one of those artists, you know, I don't know I don't know what genre, is it R&B? I probably put it into that sort of umbrella. But definitely some typically more chill music. I really enjoy her instrumentation, and yeah, I guess I'm just sort of expecting some good vibes in this one. But damn, talk about Dreamville coming through. 2 weeks ago we got that JID project. I gotta apologize to you guys. I recorded that night of. I have the recording, just have not edited it. Damn, say that 3 times fast. But yeah, life's just been kicking my ass, I'm not gonna lie to you. Grad school, oof, shit tough. Yeah, between grad school and working full time, you know, I had to prioritize sometimes. So, yeah, so I apologize. It's been about 2 weeks since I uploaded, but here we are, and definitely excited for it. Anyways, y'all don't want to hear the details. I'm sure y'all ain't interested, but let's just get right into it. We got Age, Sex, Location. The first track I see is entitled POF. I'm assuming that is like an acronym for something we'll find out in the song. I mean, she did something similar with BMO, Break Me Off, I think it was. It's been a minute since I listened to that track, but I just remember the beat on that thing being fire. But yeah, so we'll get right into it. First track, POF. Man, I'm excited. Dreamville's been killing it lately, man. Well, before she gets in that chorus, that rhyme scheme with the E at the end, I mean, what words does she rhyme? Anxiously, thirsty, energy, coochie. Yeah, that's fire. Also, yeah, I mean, approaching 30, no lover in my bed, can't settle, I got standards. Let me tell you, that's a good thing. Don't feel discouraged, like, if you haven't found your person yet. Like, I know I went a very long time where it's like, you know, and it could be lonely, right? It can be lonely, but don't feel discouraged. Like, I recently just found my person. I'm sure you're gonna be watching this video. I love you very much, but it's totally worth it. Like don't settle, or don't feel like you need to find something temporary. Like, if you know it's not gonna work out, you're gonna go down this rabbit hole. You're gonna go down this path that only leads to pain, man. High standards is a good thing. Don't get it twisted. Real quick, it's really clever how she's the POF stands for plenty of fish. So she did something similar to that with BMO, plenty Break Me Off. And then she goes into starting the verse about catfishing, which is pretty clever. A little bit of wordplay there. But yeah, man, I mean, dating nowadays is different, man. It's different. I found my girlfriend online, and I just feel like we were extremely lucky. Like, I don't know, like, I'm definitely no expert at it, but it's definitely become more digitized. It's become an online sort of thing. Especially now, like, ever since COVID hit, like, a lot of this is, you know, you're working remote, you're not really around as many people, and believe it or not, that's where a lot of relationships start. You know, meeting someone at work, like you know, that's at the very least, that's one opportunity that's stripped away from you. Also, I found that I work remotely since COVID hit, and I found that it makes it even harder to get out of the house, because you're like, oh wow, I can just be here all day, you know. So that part's pretty interesting too, how just the work aspect of it, being at your house all day, also sort of bleeds over to the rest of your life. Ooh, that was a fire verse, man. She's singing some shit here. So, I mean, this is one of the greatest of sins, I feel like. Let me just read the lyrics first. The audacity to lecture me about your Christianity, then turn around and try to fuck on me. Man, I'm just imagining, I'm sure people do this, as someone who is Christian and definitely, well, I'm not perfect, but I'd like to think that I take my faith seriously. The idea of someone, like, putting on that hat or sort of faking the like, hey, I'm Christian, just to check a box off someone's list. Ugh, doesn't it just leave a bad taste in your mouth? And I'm sure that happens all the time because people people aren't crap, but at the very least, there's some rotten eggs in the carton, right? But that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? Because that has to be going on. But anyways, that was POF. Great track. Definitely enjoyed it. She has some shit to say in that one. A lot about dating, dating in the modern age. Mentioned catfishing. And talking about high standards, and that's definitely important. You should never dip below your standards. Know your worth, and know that no matter how dicey it seems or how difficult it is to believe it, there are people out there who will share your values. There is, that other half out there. And there's very interesting philosophical conversation we can have about that. But we'll leave it there. Like I said, great track. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the next one. This one's called Hoodie. Ooh, that's smooth, man. Listen, I got a question for y'all. I admit, my female audience is probably about 5%. But if you're here, this is a female artist, and admittedly, I haven't done enough female artists. But if you're here, if you're a female, you gotta let me know, what is it with women and trying to take your hoodies? My girl took one of my hoodies. It was my favorite one. I recorded videos in it. It was the white one, Columbia. So I had to get the blue one. We kind of matched it. It's kind of cute. But what is it? What is it? The scent? I sprayed a bunch of my cologne on it, make it smell like me. But y'all gotta inform me. You gotta tell me, fill me in. What's the secret? Why is that a big deal? Because it was definitely a big deal to her. Y'all gotta let me know. Leave a comment. Alright, so that was Hoodie. Admittedly, I definitely preferred the first track. I feel like for what this was, there's no need for it to be a 4-minute track. With that being said, I still enjoyed the sound. The chorus was still fire. But like I said, I don't see why that had to be 4 minutes. Content-wise, wasn't particularly deep. But still, vibes are there, sounds good, so I guess it is what it is. Track number 3, we got Waste My Time. This chorus is fire, man. Alright, that was Waste My Time. I think that did what the previous track didn't do right, in that this one had a very catchy chorus, but it was only like 2.5 minutes long, 2:43, and I don't think the content-wise was anything too crazy. But yeah, one thing I have to say about Ari Lennox, she knows how to pick some beats that just fit her style, her voice, her rhythm very well. And that's one of the most important parts about being an R&B or hip-hop artist, I feel like. And that beat selection can sometimes be just as important as what you say, the flow you decide to go with. Just as important, maybe an over-exaggeration, but it's certainly one of the most important parts of being an artist in that genre. And I will say that Ari Lennox does that very well. I always enjoy the music that goes behind her tracks. Instrumentals are always fire. They always seem to have a nice, constant bass line, which I personally love. So props to her for that. And again, this chorus was super catchy. Still, my favorite track is probably the first one, but that one I preferred over the second. Next track, we got Pressure. Oh man, that right there was fire, man. So she related the position of being on top sexually to her position in making it on top musically. And that is incredibly clever, right? So she said, why only fuck me when I was this fly? Now I'm on top, and now I'm riding sky high. Don't need nobody, but I'll take you down tonight. Yeah, that's super clever. Obviously, her rise was really fast, I feel like, right? And I feel like that's been a reoccurring theme with Dreamville. And really these creative-driven labels where once you get signed, I feel like the fans of those artists are very loyal to the labels. Like me, for example, if someone gets signed to either TDE or Dreamville, I'm on it right away. I'm checking the artist out. That happened with Ray Vaughn, recently signed to TDE. And it wasn't so recent. This was probably months ago, if not a year ago. But as soon as he signed, I immediately dug through his discography. And guy is fire. If you're into hip-hop, go check out Ray Vaughn. He did this freestyle. I forget where it was at. I don't know if it was Sway. It's probably Sway. Don't quote me on it. But absolutely insane freestyle. But again, moral of the story is that these labels, and I'm sure PG Lang is going to be one as well. PG Lang is one as well. Tana Leon. That was the first concert I went to. I went to the Big Steppers concert. Tana Leon opened. Dude is fire, man. Anyways, but yeah, as soon as Ari Lennox really started releasing music, and you know she signed to Dreamville, popularity just rose quickly, and the music is there to back it. This kind of is a rant that came off of a line that does not even relate to this, but shout out Ari Lennox. Alright, that was Pressure. I feel like this is a track that's that a lot of women are really going to enjoy. Obviously, not a woman. I didn't hate it. I think, again, beat selection is good. She sounds good on it. Content-wise, it's not a lot there for me personally. But like I said, I could see how a lot of women are probably really going to enjoy this. I could even see this being played in like a party or club setting. But again, for what I listen for, my typical setting, it's probably not something I'm going to listen to very often. And that's all right. There are other tracks in here like POF, waste my time, that I'm definitely going to listen to. But anyways, we'll move on to the next track. This one's an interlude. It's called ASL. Alright, this is going into next track, Mean Mug. Well, this sounds amazing. A little bit slower than the rest of the album. I love it. Ooh, that saxophone though, okay. It fits very well. Alright, that was Mean Mug. That was the first, I'd say, slow track of the album. But it still had, you know, that constant lower tones in it that just suit her voice so well. Definitely one of my more favorite ones. Definitely prefer this over Pressure and the second track, Hoodie. Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I would say that this one is it has a bit more repetition than I would like. And that's being critical. I definitely, this is a song I'd listen to. But you know, I'm here to add shit, so being a little critical. A little repetitive at times. The chorus is repetitive. Some of the bridges are repetitive. But it's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong. Definitely one I wouldn't skip. Anyways, next track, we got Boy Bye, and I'm really excited for this one because it's featuring Lucky Day. Now, I unfortunately started this channel about, I don't know, 3 months ago. Started taking it more serious. And Lucky Day, his album Candy Drip, was not featured on the channel. It is one of my favorite albums of the year so far. I have listened to it ever since it released, and I'm still listening to it now. Tracks like the title track Candy Drip, tracks like Feels Like, tracks like Over. I just keep going back to it. And Lucky Day has one of the most soul-packed voices in all of R&B. He's truly incredible, and I'm sure you're going to see him at the end of the year when I release videos of my favorite songs and albums. But anyways, it'll be interesting to see how he pairs with Ari Lennox. Hopefully he doesn't sound like shit now that I just hyped him up. But anyways, let's get to it. Boy Bye. Ooh. Damn. I just gotta say, I love the chemistry between the two. I was really just expecting the normal thing, you know, you get verse by her, chorus by one of them, verse by him. The way they're kind of going back and forth, and it's the Lucky Day's kind of intertwined within the track all the way through so far. I find that very interesting, and it's really working well. Ari Lennox sounds incredible on this one. Really haven't heard too much from Lucky Day. I mean, you heard him sing a couple lines there, but no, Ari Lennox is killing this track right now. You think that I'm shady? I want you to be my oh my goodness. And I love oh man. Alright, that was Boy Bye. Gosh, that was an incredible track. I love the way that you can just tell they put a bunch of effort in this track, right? It wasn't your typical, like I said, you know, verse, chorus, verse, you know, take turns or whatever. They intertwined each other throughout the track. Both their voices are absolutely incredible. And I hope that if you haven't heard of Lucky Day, this is your first time you heard of Lucky Day, I really encourage you to check out his music. His last album was incredible. He has previous projects that I checked out because I listened to his last album and I was like, damn, this motherfucker's amazing. But yeah, no, check him out if you haven't. But yeah, great track, definitely playlist, maybe my favorite so far. But regardless, that one was phenomenal. It was kind of a lot of like the jest between the man and woman. Substance wasn't too crazy, but I think this one you're really here for the vibes more than anything. All right, next track we got Stop By. Jack is an alcohol. That was clever. Man, a lot of this music is really horny, isn't it? Alright, that was Stop By. Wasn't a huge fan of that track. As always, it sounds good. That's about as far as it goes in terms of things I like. I mean, it's a very horny track, right? I mean, it's very straight to the point. The chorus says it all. Yeah, you know, that one was... This really wasn't doing it for me, that one. And it may have just been that I heard Boy Bye, and I really enjoyed that track. So it could just be the placement like that. Anyways, we'll just keep it rolling. Next track we got is Outside. I gotta say, don't take my dislike or indifference to these tracks the wrong way. I feel like a lot of these are really meant for women, and I feel like this will definitely resonate more in a woman's ears than they do mine. And you know, that's not a bad thing. I can still appreciate it. Just every time I say, like, you know, it's not for me, or it's not something I'd probably listen to, don't take it the wrong way. Don't take it as if I think it's bad. It's like, it's exactly what I say. It's not something I would probably listen to. Just off the first verse here, it sounds like another one that's probably gonna fall in that category. But regardless, they all sound great, man. Like, her voice is fantastic. The vibes are good. So yeah, we'll let it play through. Not a big fan of it so far. I hate saying that, but we'll keep it rolling. That shit hurt right there. She didn't have to bring up student loans like that, man. Shout out Joe for helping me out while also screwing over any. Imagine if you just paid off your loans like 2 months ago. Like, and obviously most people have the payment plans where it's just like a small bit each month. But imagine you're just like all excited. You're like, you know, I got this money built up. I'm just gonna pay off my loans. And you did that shit like 2 months ago before hearing that it's just gonna wipe away like 10 grand. Oh my goodness, I would be fuming, man. Now, I made out like a fat rat, but there's so many questions with that, man. And, you know, as someone who's gonna benefit from it, it's easy to just forget about the ethics about it. But you really gotta think, like, okay, well, what if you just starting college next year? What's gonna happen? What if you're starting it this semester? and you're taking loans out after, but whenever this shit is gonna start. Like, there's so many ethical questions, and the most obvious one is, what about the people who just fucking paid that a few years back, you know? And it's funny the way the world works, because karma might come back around. You know, Social Security might not be available when I get that age. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's just the universe making shit even before it even happens. This sort of stuff, it's interesting how where you're positioned, how it affects yourself, shifts your own viewpoint on it, and it makes you be like me, like I'm just like, oh yeah, shout out Joe for that. You know, it's gonna help big time. But you know, like I said, it's interesting to think about. You know. Anyways, that was a rant just because she mentioned student loans. Fuck that shit. They're expensive as fuck. Not as bad as my brother. My brother is like $250,000 in debt. When I heard that shit, I was like, fuck that. I am not getting myself in that position. Thankfully, mine are nowhere near as bad as that. But, man, oh gosh, being that far in debt, just having that over your head the whole time, I couldn't ever, man. But yeah, anyways, I was outside. Another track that, you know, sounded good. Again, wasn't one I'm probably going to listen to all that often. But regardless, I'm here to appreciate it, and I'll led to a cool conversation about student loans of all things, so who would have thought? Anyways, we're going to go ahead to the next track. This one is called Leak It. It's featuring Chloe, who I've never heard of before. Oh, I think I'm liking this more already. Sounds so good. Jesus. Alright, so I was Leak It. One of the best sounding tracks I feel on the album so far. Again, another really horny track. Yeah, I'm not against it, but I feel like definitely geared towards women. Yeah, not a bad thing at all. Like I said, sounds great. Album I feel isn't super lyrically deep. Well, it isn't lyrically deep. I feel like I can state that as a fact, but the vibes are there. This one in particular sounds amazing. I really feel like she could benefit from more features, and and it's her album. I don't want to take away from that, but she complements so many artists so well, I feel like. And I mean, especially in the lane of hip hop, you hear on the Dreamville records, especially on choruses, and you know, it's a huge change of pace that suits those records very well. A lot of these, you know, there's isn't too much variation, which isn't a bad thing. Like I said, it all sounds great. With that being said, I don't see the step up from her previous album, and that may be critical. It could be overly critical, because her last album was still phenomenal, and this is still great too. But I'm not getting a whole lot that's different per se, or stuff that really stands out to me. And that could change with more listens as well. So I'm not gonna be overly critical right now, but those are just some thoughts that are going through my head. So bear with me. Anyways, we got the second to last track. This one is called Blocking You. Oh man. I just gotta say, and I'm really liking the direction this track is going, and maybe I have to rescind the shit I just said. There's something free, and there's something that happens when you take a break from social media, or you put your phone down. This happened to me probably a little over a year ago. I had a bunch of streaks on Snapchat, and I'm sure many of you can probably relate to this, where all they are streaks. You know, you're not even talking. Like, I just message each one of my streaks like, yo, hopping off Snap for a while. Y'all got my number, because, you know, they were all people who I at least knew. And if they didn't have my number, I gave it to them. But many of those people just, you know, it was fake. It was a number to increase your Snap score. It was so surface level, and cleansing myself from that was something that really helped me. And it's so easy to get caught up in these things, and it can even happen with YouTube. For example, I've been doing this, and the feedback you guys give, and the interactions I have with you are so rewarding. I'm so grateful for it, incredibly grateful. But like I find myself telling my girlfriend, you know, like I don't talk about YouTube for a while. I'm like, I'm up to this many subscribers, and I find myself putting a number on it. Like these are people. Like each and every single one of you. Whenever I see another one of you subscribe, I'm just like, wow, this is another person who watched a video and found it impact, or found some reason where they're like, I'm gonna subscribe to this guy. And I'm incredibly blessed for that. And it's a slippery slope with social media and all forms of media, really, where you start to undermine the people. It's not a number, it's people. And I don't know, I realize I'm saying a bunch of nothing right now, but really the moral of the story that I'm trying to tell you guys is, don't feel discouraged to take a break from social media, and always remind yourself that all these are driven by people, and the number of your followers, or the number of people you follow, or the number of likes you get, it's people, and it's not a number, okay? And it's really easy to confuse that over time, or especially if you find success, or you get caught in this trap, you get caught in this loop. Always know that there's an exit. And it's probably a little different. What she's talking about is more so in the realm of relationships, but I'm kind of extending that to all of social media. So I'll consider that, take from that what you will. But I felt the need to talk on that. Really clever, just mentioning a bunch of different people and roles that can in some way or another block you. Just find that really creative, and I'm really enjoying this song. This is one of my favorites so far. Alright, that was Blocking You. Like I said, phenomenal track. I gave a lot of my thoughts throughout. Probably one of my more favorite ones so far. But I'll hold some of my thoughts till after we finish the album. We only have one more track left. This one is called Queen Space. This is featuring Summer Walker. Again, standards, don't sell yourself short. My love is a privilege. It's a great mindset. Nice somber piano to end the album. Definitely enjoy that. And that is Queen Space, the final track off of Ari Lennox's new album, Age, Sex, Location. Need a second just to breathe, take that in. So, overall, ASL to me seems like ways to tackle experiences within love and dating in the modern age, and she tackles concepts of catfishing, sexual relations, locking people off, the way that these things have become digitized, and a lot of it is connections with those sort of topics. And always throughout musically, there's an undercurrent of bass. Her voice throughout is incredible. It's really a solid Ari Lennox project. Still, I say that her ability to choose instrumentation, which really puts her strength to the forefront, is something that serves her extremely well, and something that she is incredibly good at. As for cons, I kind of wish there were some more features on the album. Lucky Day was the most notable one to me, and I'm biased, I'm a Lucky Day fan, but I think even objectively that track was very good. Chloe sounded good on her feature. So the features really performed well on here. I just wish there were a couple more of them. And that's not to undermine her ability to make tracks by herself. I just feel that, and maybe it's just that I've gotten used to hearing her as a change of pace artist. On the Dreamville tracks, where they got a bunch of hip-hop artists on it, and she's kind of like that change of pace, and you know, she fills that role so well that I get used to hearing her with other artists. So I kind of wish there were some more features on this, but then again, that may have taken away from the message she's trying to portray about dating, about love and sex within this. Again, another one of the main themes that I've heard through a couple of the tracks, which I also want to emphasize, is the idea of having high standards and knowing your own worth and not compromising when it comes to love. I realize I talked about this some throughout the project, but again, just to emphasize, never undermine your own standards. You know, you got to know your worth. And yes, sometimes your standards can't be too high, but there is a fine line between compromising on certain things and completely disregarding your standards. So don't do that. She talks about that throughout, and you know, that's a very important theme. But yeah, man, all in all, just a solid project. Sounds great. With all that being said, if you got any value out of this, if you enjoyed it, if whatever, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. You know, I appreciate all that. I think it's the most importantly subscribe. The most important part is that you leave a comment, because you know, that's really the most rewarding thing to me, is hearing from you guys and gals. Y'all let me know about the hoodie thing. But yeah, just hearing from you guys. Y'all are incredibly supportive, and even when you have some criticisms, so far it's been very respectful, and you know, I really appreciate that. So anyways, I thank you so much for checking out the video. It means a lot. I really hope you have a blessed day, and you know, always appreciate your blessings. Be grateful for your good health. Be grateful for your friends and family. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.